All right. Very good morning, everyone. Thanks for your patience once again. So, we will start the session now. And before we begin the session proper, I thought I would do a bit of housekeeping before we begin. So just take note that the session will be recorded, and the recording will be shared with all of you after today, probably by tomorrow. Uh, through the session, if you have any technical issues, do just double check on your internet connectivity. But otherwise, if there are parts that you have missed, there will be the recording that you can review at a later time. Right? If you have any questions through the session, feel free to put those questions into the chat, and I'll be able to monitor those questions as I go along. Otherwise, at the end of the session, I'll also drop my email address into the chat box, and you can also drop me an email with specific questions that you might have post-session. We do have quite a number of different geographical regions joining us today, so thank you very much for joining us at various time zones around the world. So my name is Julin, and I am the Customer Success Consultant from Clarivate, based out of Singapore. My remit will be, my expertise areas will be around the solutions like Web of Science, journal citation reports and insights, and as well as Pivot RP, which is our funding database. So if you have any questions specific to any of these other solutions, feel free to also drop me an email, right? Now, I do have various customer success consultants, colleagues in region as well. So some of you who are from Japan, from New Zealand, right? You might have different customer success consultants who are in charge of your own institution, right? So let's begin what we are supposed to cover for today's webinar, which is the Web of Science and how you can make use of this solution to be more efficient in your research discovery. Over the last few years, Web of Science has actually evolved quite a bit. And specifically this year, we have introduced quite a number of AI capabilities as well as new content sets into the platform. So I will be covering some of these as I go through today's session. So let's start with what is the Web of Science. Now, many of you will be familiar with Web of Science journals. So you will be familiar with terms like the journal impact factors, the quartiles of the journals. But the Web of Science itself is a platform, or what I like to call an ecosystem of different content sets that can be accessed in one location. So here on the screen, you would see a bit like I would say like a dartboard, okay, with the peripheral rings symbolizing or representing a lot of our third-party hosted collections, as well as content types that are beyond traditional published literature. So some examples here are like InSpec. So if you're in engineering, STEM related topic areas, you might be familiar with things like InSpec. If you're in life sciences, you will be familiar with the Biosis previews, Biosis citation index, and even Medline for those who are in healthcare. Anyone doing food science? Okay, we also have the FSTA that can be accessible within the Web of Science platform. Now, what content that you have access to will depend very much on your own institution's subscription to the Web of Science. So different institutions might subscribe to different databases within this ecosystem. But as a start, I think at the heart of the Web of Science, when you start your subscription, you will always have the core collection. Okay, so that will be my main focus for today's session. So what is the core collection? It is a specially curated set of content that covers journals, conference proceedings, as well as books. So when I talk about curation, what we do is before any journal can be included into our Web of Science core collection, they have to be evaluated based on our very strict 24 quality criteria. Why do I emphasize this? The reason is because in recent times, in recent years, there has been a sharp increase in unethical publishing behaviors across journals. Right. I think I am sharing the slide. So I do see someone commenting that please share screen slides. I am sharing the slides at the moment. So let me just double check. Yes, I am sharing. So it might be an internet connectivity issue. But if there are more people who can't see my slides, let me know. All right, it seems like there's some issue. So let me just stop this sharing and let me just share again. All right. Okay. Can everyone see my slides now? Because I've changed the mode of sharing just to see whether it's possible. Okay. And okay, great. Thank you. So apologies for the technical issues right there. But yeah, so it could be some issues with the uh, browser. I'm not entirely sure. So I do apologize, but I'm pretty sure that the recording should be fine. Okay, I see a good mix of those who can see, who can't see. All right, so again, yes, sorry for the issues. I won't be able to troubleshoot this for now because we are live on the session. Okay. All right, so let's proceed with the rest of the session. Okay, so I was at our evaluation process. So we do evaluate the journals based on our 24 quality criteria, and it is continuous monitoring that we have. So what this means is that when journals are indexed into the Web of Science, it doesn't stop there. They have to maintain the quality that they have at the start, because over the years, if we detect that they have some anomalous citation behaviors, we do flag them and we re-evaluate these journals again. And upon re-evaluation, if they no longer meet our quality criteria, they do get removed from the collection. All right, but not very often. Okay, so in case anyone is keen to know, keen to kind of refresh your memory on what journal indexes we have in the Web of Science core collection, we do have the Science Citation Index Expanded, which is SCIE. Then we have the Social Sciences Citation Index, which is SSCI. And then we have Arts and Humanities Citation Index, which is AHCI. And finally, the Emerging Sources Citation Index, ESCI. Now, the very most common question that many researchers always ask me is that, is it true that Emerging Sources Citation Index journals do not have good high impact journals? In the past, probably 2 years ago, I would say because they don't have a journal impact factor, that could be a challenge. Okay. Uh, and this would challenge them in terms of, oh, then I have to select other journals beyond the ESCI, right? But now in 2025, all journals in the 4 indexes, SCIE, SSCI, AHCI, and ESCI, all have their journals with the journal impact factor. So if you do want to identify journals that have a journal impact factor, you can come to the Web of Science now. Okay? So I'll cover more details about the journal impact factor and other journal related metrics in a separate session that we usually cover for journal citation reports. Okay? All right. Then next up, why do you need to make use of a solution like Web of Science core collection? Some of you are very familiar with your own specialty databases. So I know definitely things like inspect and all that you can access separately on other different platforms, right? And some of you would say, okay, I'll just quickly search within these few journals that I'm familiar with. But at the end of the day, going to a source that has already done some pre-curation for you will definitely save you some time. On this screen here, you have this STM report in 2021 that mentions that over 4 million different articles are published annually. So as a researcher, on average, you would probably be able to read just about 264 articles in a year. And when we talk about reading, it means ingesting whatever that is on the content of the full text and understanding it completely and being able to know, okay, this is the scheme of things within my own discipline, and therefore I know where these gaps are for my research area that I can plug, and so on. So how would you researchers be able to look at all these different articles and ascertain which of these are important ones for you to read and important ones for your time? Okay. All right. So just take note, the solution, like the Web of Science core collection, is there to help make things more efficient, helps you to streamline your research discovery. It includes multidisciplines as well. And so in today's time, when research is very multidiscipline, and when you want to do some breakthrough research, you probably have to look at cross-discipline applications. It's important that you also search through content on a multidisciplinary level. All right. Now, the next thing is, I won't go through this slide, but the next thing within the Web of Science is that we have our meticulous metadata within the platform. What do I mean by this? There are certain platforms that maybe only include a small proportion of cited references for each record. So that means if there are 100 references in that article, certain databases only show you maybe the first 15 or so, or only those that are also included in the platform. But on Web of Science, no matter whether the references are included in Web of Science or not, we will still list them as references within the record in Web of Science. The importance of this is so that you are able to accurately see what we call a citation network and be able to understand how past and present research have been connected to each other through the citations. At the same time, we also list all authors' names and all authors' affiliations on the publications. This then allows you to be able to do some analysis on who are the experts in that field, who are collaborators, and also helps you to accurately see what's the research output of various affiliations or institutions. We also include funding data, and we've worked with about 400 plus funders around the world to include details of awarded funding. So what we've done is if the funders have provided us with things like the primary investigator details, the grant amounts, all right, those details will be incorporated into the records in Web of Science. Okay. In terms of the update frequency in Web of Science, we update this daily. So on a daily basis, you would definitely see changes in citation counts, new documents being included into the platform, all right? But just take note that new journals will be highlighted in our master journal list only on a monthly basis. All right. Okay. So earlier on, I mentioned something about the citation networks. All right. So because we are comprehensive in indexing things like the cited references, you are able to make use of our citation network to explore what has happened in the past all the way to present time. So what I'm sharing here on this screen is an example of perhaps a document that you have found within Web of Science and how you can explore the historical information and also the newer ones after its publication. Here on the screen, you would see a 2010 publication. And from this publication, you will be able to explore the cited references, and these are usually published prior to 2010. So going backwards in history. Then each of these cited references will also have its own citation network, and you can start to expand out on each of the cited references to explore new content. Then on the right-hand side, you would see citing articles. So these are newer publications that have cited the 2010 publication. So from 2010 to, let's say, current time, which is 2025, these articles on the right might show you what has changed or evolved since 2010. So what's the importance of looking backwards and forwards in time? It helps you to get a comprehensive understanding of the timeline of that particular discipline or the particular topic that you are keen to work on. This then helps you to identify things like research gaps and challenges in prior research, so that perhaps in today's times, today's technology, you could actually do something about. Okay. Now, I still see some people with issues with viewing the screen. I do sincerely apologize. I'll try to describe as much as I can what I have on the screen so that hopefully you can visualize it. But later on when I'm going through like the live platform, that might be a bit of a challenge. So I do sincerely hope that you will review the recording when I have shared that with all of you after today. Okay. All right. So besides the core collection data set that you would have access to, I think many of you will have by default access to some of these non-traditional published literature. So one such example is our preprint citation index. And this allows you to explore preprints from various repositories like arXiv, bioRxiv, medRxiv, chemarXiv, and preprints.org, alongside the final published outcomes of these preprints. So the preprint citation index can be searchable on its own within the Web of Science platform, or it can be searched together under the all database search in the Web of Science. One thing I wanted to highlight and also emphasize is that do remember that preprints are not peer-reviewed. So they are not the same as what we call early access. All right, so sometimes some early career researchers might confuse the terms between preprints and early access. All right, early access articles are those that have already gone through the peer review process, and they are just awaiting the final published issue to get their volumes and so on. So that's early access. Preprints are not peer reviewed. Okay, then some of you might ask, why is it then important to still look at preprints? It's because preprints usually show you what is of interest within the research community and also shows you what's up and coming in that field. Next, we also have the dissertations and thesis citation index that you probably have access to as well. And this allows you to explore over 5 million different graduate works from 4,000 universities around the world. And if your institution subscribes to PQDT Global, which is the full text dissertations and thesis platform, then you can directly link out to view the full text of these dissertations and theses. And finally, we also have the grants index. Now, the grants index is something that we have included since the end of last year, I believe. And this allows you to look at what has been previously awarded or funded. Why is it useful? It helps you to see what is of interest by certain funding agencies. So potentially, if you are applying for, let's say, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you could always go in to see what were the previously awarded grants that they provided, and see what were the fields or the topics that they frequently uh, fund. Okay. Now, next up would be analytical tools. So within the Web of Science, it's not just about retrieving content. We also include some analytical features to help you to navigate the vast sea of information. Right. First thing that we have just introduced this year is our Smart Search. So this is our baby step into the full-fledged agentic AI area. So this is not agentic AI. This is purely a AI-enabled search. So what we've done in terms of the use of AI in smart search within Web of Science is that we applied AI to help with things like auto-completion, spelling corrections, translations of the language. Okay, so it is different from the research assistant, which is a full-fledged AI assistant. Okay, so that's the main difference in case any of you are keen to know what's the difference between the two. Right, so Smart Search is a basic form of AI that we have within the Web of Science, and it is turned on for every single user of Web of Science already. Okay. We also have the analyze results function, which helps you to look into the details of the results that you have found in a Web of Science core collection search. So in the Web of Science search, you might have uncovered maybe about 16,000 publications in a specific topic area. The analyze results feature will help you to understand things like which are the institutions that are publishing in this set of papers. So perhaps you were searching for hydrogen storage. Then which are the institutions that are publishing heavily in this topic of hydrogen storage? This also allows you to uncover things like which are the prolific authors in that field, or even look at other research topics that this set of publications cover. All right. If you're keen to look at which are some of the journals that are publishing this area of research, the analyze results function will also help you to uncover that. Then we also have the citation reports feature that helps you to look at the trend of the publications. So trend in terms of the publication output as well as the citations. Now the citation report can be utilized to help you see whether a topic area is on the rise in terms of its publication trend, or plateauing, or on the decline. Okay. Alternatively, the citation report can also be used to showcase your own publications. So if you have a Web of Science researcher profile, you can run a citation report for your own publications as well, and observe the trends in terms of the citations. Now, some of you are in institutions that also subscribe to insights, benchmarking, and analytics, as well as essential science indicators. If your institution subscribes to those two databases, you then get this additional flag that we have on the screen here. So it is one of the quick filters in the results set when you search in Web of Science. So it is the highly cited papers filter and the hot papers filter. Now the highly cited papers filter will be denoted using a trophy logo, and then the hot papers is usually a flame logo. Now, why is this filter useful, and why am I highlighting this? Sometimes you just want to find the most important publications to read. Okay, so then you can quickly filter to these highly cited papers. These highly cited papers are those published in the last 10 years that have enough citations to put them in the top 1% of their field. And they also have There's also a hot papers filter, and those are papers published in the most recent 2 years that have enough citations to put them in the top 0.1% of their field. So if you just want to quickly identify useful publications as a start, those are two very useful quick filters to have. If you don't have access to these two filters, you can still use our sort functionality to sort the list of results based on citation counts or by usage. So of course, if you sort by citations with the highest as the first one, then those will be usually the more well-cited publications. Then those that are most utilized or with the highest usage, those will be the ones that have more interest levels. So that means the community is more interested in these because they are looking at the full text. They are saving these to their reference management softwares. Right? Then how do you get access to the full text articles if you really want to read them? Then you can click through to the publishers' websites from each of the records in Web of Science, or you can also install something called EndNote Click. That doesn't really require you to be an EndNote user. It's basically a browser plugin that you can install to quickly retrieve PDF full text. So you can see here on the screenshot that on the results page of Web of Science, each record that has a full text PDF has this link called View PDF with EndNote Click. So once you click on that link, it will just pop up on a separate tab with the full text PDF for your retrieval or save to your desktop. Okay. If anyone's keen to look at open access, we also have the different levels of open access that you can filter down to. If you're not keen on the different levels, then we do have a all open access filter that allows you to see all the full text that is freely available for access. Right. Then the next thing is your marked list. So we do have a personalization feature available for you. So if you do want to save things like searches, alerts, and saved histories, do remember to create your own account of Web of Science. And this registration that you do for your personalization features is also your Web of Science researcher profile login. So if you already have a Web of Science researcher profile, you should have that personalization feature turned on in Web of Science. Okay, so we have something called marked list that allows you to build a custom list based on various multiple searches. You can save up to 100 marked lists and up to 50,000 records in each list. Once you have built each of these marked lists, you can also run the analyze results and citation reports function for each of these saved custom lists. Now, exporting, we do definitely have the export to the reference management softwares. There is a direct export to EndNote. There's also direct export to RefWorks. If you're using any other reference management tools, there is an RIS export format that you can download. If you want to compile like a data set externally and you need this in Excel, there is an Excel export as well. But just take note, the export function will be in batches. So you can only export 1,000 records at a time if you include full record information in your export. So say for example, if your search result comes up to about 13,000, so this means that you have to export this 13 times, starting with the records 1 to 1,000, then followed by 1001 to 2000, 2001 to 3000, and so on. All right. If you want to speed things up, we definitely have a custom data service that we can also provide. All right, so that's all the slides that I have for Web of Science content and features. Next, I will actually be going into the live platform to show you around. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. And I will share my browser. All right. So I should be showing my browser now. Okay. So once you have, for each of you, your access methods might differ. So do check with your various institutions' library on how to get access to the Web of Science. But most of the time, you should be able to find Web of Science on your library's website. And if you're off campus, each library usually has their own off-campus access. Okay. Yeah. Now I see that some of you seem to have issues with searching the full document set. Okay. It could be because you're off campus or off site. All right. So just take note, if this is the first time that you're accessing Web of Science and previously you just registered for your account on Web of Science so that you can claim your researcher profile, it might not be tied to your institution's access yet. So just make sure that you go through with your own institution's network, either on campus or using the library's off-campus access link, like maybe Open Athens or Okta and so on. And make sure you go into Web of Science first before you sign in. Once you have gone into Web of Science and you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you should be able to see your institution's name and logo. Once you see that, then you log in with your existing account that you had registered using your for your Web of Science researcher profile. That will then link your account to the system. Okay, so that is the reason why some of you might be unable to search documents and only see your profile and search for researchers. All right. If you do still have issues with registering, later on I'll also put that a quick help section for you into the chat. Okay. All right, so then for those of you who have never used Web of Science before and never created a Web of Science researcher profile, you can still browse Web of Science, you can still search Web of Science as per you, without logging in, as with your own account. But just make sure you're signed in with the library, okay? So once you're in Web of Science, you should be, this is usually the first page you see, which is our smart search. From one provides the best. Okay. So the smart search is usually the first area that you would see. And here you can see the search by all databases or Web of Science core collection. Okay. By default, it should be under Web of Science core collection, but in the event that you want to include others databases like the preprints, the dissertations and thesis, then you select all databases. Right? So I'm just going to quickly show you the smart search first. So it's basically it's a fairly straightforward search where you can just type in a phrase. So maybe application of AI in teaching. Okay, so with this, it will tell you how we have process your query using the smart search. So it's searched for application of AI in teaching. You can always edit this to um, change the field that you want to search. Okay, but by default, the smart search usually does a topic search. Okay. Here, you can also show by relevance. So you can sort the list by relevance, and it will usually show you those that have the most matching words within the search, right? Here you have also additional quick add keywords to help you to narrow down the search results a bit better. This is also provided by AI. Okay. Now from this set of results, you can also look at the abstract straight away for each of the records here. On the right-hand side, you would immediately see the citation network of the record. So for example, this one has 8 citations and 37 references. There's also a co-citation map to show you which other documents it is frequently co-cited with. And this also helps you to expand on the related materials that you can extract. Okay. If you want to see the journal, okay, if your institution has a subscription to Journal Citation Reports, you should be able to click this down arrow next to the journal's name and then view in journal's impact straight away. Right. Let's take a look at this record. You can go in to see. So again, here we have all the different fields populated for this record. You can see things like the keywords that were used by the authors. You can also look at the corresponding addresses and contact details. And if this exact same article was also in other third-party databases, like in this case, Medline, and your institution also subscribes to Medline via Web of Science, then you can immediately view the mesh terms that are specific from the Medline database. Okay. Then as you scroll down, you would come to the references. Some of our records will have something called the enriched cited references, which is this table that you see here. What this does is that for the 37 references used in this article, we show you the context. So that means where each of the references were mentioned in the full text. So you can view things like the in-text mentions of some of these articles. Right? So this is the reference list for this record in Web of Science. So it differs from the full text PDF because within Web of Science, you're able to still see these references citation network and further ascertain whether those documents are important ones for you to look at. Okay. And again, if you want to view the full text of this article, you can just click on the free full text from the publisher, view full text on ProQuest if your institution library has a subscription to ProQuest Central. And if you installed EndNote-Click, you can immediately view the PDF using this purple tab that I'm clicking on. Okay. It requires you to do some registration as a start. Sorry, I seem to be logged out. But once you have logged in, you should be able to view the full text PDFs straight away. Okay. Okay. So which is like this one. So I've just signed in. Let's click on the full text again. All right, so this is the article that I've just clicked on. It will open up as the PDF in a separate tab, and then I can download the PDF to my computer. So just take note, you need to install EndNote Click for this one. And where do you find that? It will be at the top of the screen. On the top right, there's a product list. Under products, you will see EndNote Click. And you go there and you should be able to install this onto the browser. So it is available for Firefox as well as Chrome. Right. All right. So that's the smart search. Now, if you don't want smart search, alternatively, there is an advanced search. Okay, so advanced search is our traditional filtered search option right here, where you can actually select your database that you want to search. So here you see Web of Science core collection. You have all databases, and you should see which are the other databases or indexes you have a subscription to via your institution. Okay. From here, you can just do a quick topic search or any other fields that you want. All right. So say, for example, I want to find an affiliation. So if you're from one of these institutions, so let's say University of Tokyo, okay, I can do a search, and this would show me all the publications from University of Tokyo in Web of Science. Okay. So as an institution, you can also use our Analyze Results feature to help you to see details around these 390,000 results. This can be quite a very large number. So maybe you can limit this to more recent years or a smaller number. Okay. So I can use the refined results to narrow the set of publications and then click on Analyze. So in the last 4 years or so, which are the subject categories that University of Tokyo is publishing in based on Web of Science categories? They are here. So astronomy, astrophysics, material science, multidisciplinary science, physics, oncology, and so on. We also have something called citation topics. Now, the difference between Web of Science subject categories and citation topics is that Web of Science categories is journal classification. So all journals are assigned to one of the 254 subject categories that we have in Web of Science. So each article may cover some other niche topic that the categories may not represent well. So we did have a new way of categorizing, which is called the citation topics. And this then gives you more granular topic areas by article. So citation topics is an article classification. Web of Science categories is a journal classification. When do you use citation topics? It's for identifying very niche topic areas. So it's very useful for expertise identification. So let's take a look at Meso. So we have two levels. Meso is like a mid-level categorization. Okay, so you can see here now the terms are more specific. Okay, then you can go for one level down to micro, and you can then see the very niche topic areas or specific ones. Okay, so there's always a visualization and there's always a table at the bottom. If you want to view a specific topic, just select it, and then at the bottom there is refine results by selected. Okay. What else can you do with this analyze results? If you click through, you can see which are the researcher profiles within University of Tokyo. Okay. You can also click through to view the profile. You can also look at the departments. So there's an affiliation with department. So you can actually narrow down to your various schools publications as well, just to see the publication output by school or faculty. If you want to see other information like your open access publications, which countries you are collaborating with, the funding agencies that have funded your work, all right? All these are all available under Analyze Results. All right, so that's the traditional search. So of course, this is an example that I'm showing you for affiliation searching. You can definitely go through the topic search as well to search for your own subject-specific search. Okay. You can continue to build this query as well. So you can add additional rows with a connector to include things like year published, for example, 2010 to 2025, and then do a search. And that's your topic search for hydrogen energy. Okay. We have this copy query link that if in the event that you have a very complex search string, you can always copy this query link and share this with others. All right. Okay. So I don't think there's any questions from anyone regarding this. The next thing I'll show you would be cited references search. Now, within Web of Science core collection, the cited references are comprehensively included. So a very useful additional step for you for your research discovery is to do cited reference search for non-traditional publications. So say, for example, Paris Agreement. Okay, the Paris Agreement is not something that is indexed in the Web of Science, but it is sometimes referenced within some of these research documents. So you can always use cited reference search to search for the cited work, and you put in Paris Agreement and do a search. Okay, you would see these references, and then you can see results by selecting all. And you would see that there are 6,457 citing articles from the Web of Science collection that talks about the Paris Agreement. And you can immediately see which are these articles on Web of Science. Okay. All right, so that's the advanced search. So I've basically covered most of what I wanted to show you for using Web of Science. For the researcher profile, if you want to update your own profile or claim your profile, just make sure that you include all your published email addresses. Or on the left-hand side, you see the menu. There is a profile option here. This is where you can put in your publications. Right, and you can always add additional emails that you publish with right here. Okay. The easiest way to update your profile is to have an updated ORCID profile as well, so that you can synchronize ORCID to Web of Science. And if you make changes on ORCID, the changes will get imported to Web of Science too. All right. For the last 10 minutes or so, I thought I would also cover one latest index that we have introduced, which is the Research Commons. So we understand that many researchers would say, oh, in Web of Science is so limited. You have these are all curated content, and it might be limiting in what I'm trying to see. So we have just introduced something called the Research Commons that includes data from open sources to allow you to explore content outside of the Web of Science core collection. So you can access Research Commons here in the databases, and you can then search for a topic. And here you have your 10,000 plus additional documents from Research Commons. But just take note, some of these will be from the non-curated journals. So they don't necessarily, they are not indexed in Web of Science. They are just part of the open sources that we have incorporated under Research Commons. If you did an all database search in Web of Science, the documents that are in Research Commons will always have this little tablet that says it's Research Commons or preprints or dissertations and thesis. Okay. All right. So Research Commons is should be turned on for most subscribed institutions. Okay. Then finally, I'll just give you a quick preview of our research assistant. Okay, but before I go there, for Web of Science, if you do want to get more help, we have this resource center at the bottom right that gives you a link to our other live or recorded trainings around the world. There's also a self-guided training portal right here. Okay, so there's a training section that I will also put into the chat. Okay, for those of you who are keen to find out about how to create an account, there's a direct link here on how to register for an account as well. Okay. Okay. So next up, I'll show you the research assistant. So for all of you, no matter whether your institution has a subscription to our research assistant or not, this logo will always appear. So that's why I thought it'd be useful to highlight this to all of you. So once you click through to on Research Assistant, if you do not see this page that I'm showing, which is like a chatbot to a chat window, it means that your institution might not have subscribed to Research Assistant yet. But if you're keen to have a trial for this, feel free to reach out to us via my email address, and I'll be happy to direct you to the right person to set up a trial for your institution. Okay, I've also put in my email address in the chat. Okay. So this is our research assistant and is our AI, Gen AI tool that we have introduced this year. And within this research assistant, you can do a few guided tasks like understand a topic, do a literature review 2.0, which is based on agentic AI. So what is agentic AI? This is basically an assistant that will think for you as well to guide you along in your literature review process. And finally, find a journal. So because of the limited time that we might have for today, I'm going to just quickly show you our literature review 2.0 as the guided task. So in the literature review 2.0, you can create a detailed literature review that would cover these three things: identify research gaps, find hotspots, as well as formulate hypotheses. So an example of what I can do would be maybe doing a topic on applications, create a literature review. So about applications of ICT in teaching. So what this agent will do is that it would try to decipher what you're trying to ask. And if it's too broad, it will tell you it is quite broad. Okay, then it's better to kind of refine it to focus on certain subtopics. And these are some suggestions. So maybe what I'll do is I would look at impact of ICT on student learning outcomes. Right. So while this is running, it allows for local language searching as well, natural language searching, your own, you can search in Japanese, you can search in Thai, you can search in Bahasa Indonesia, Bahasa Melayu, all these different languages are supported, including Korean, right? So if you use your own native language to search, the responses that comes back will also be in your own native language. Okay, so here it would say, okay, let's create a search strategy. So the next thing is to create a search strategy, and this is what it proposes: ICT in education with the following subtopics and synonyms. You happy with this? Proceed. All right, then it will tell you that it will usually restrict the search results to the last 10 years. Okay, if you want something a bit broader in terms of its time frame, you can always change this. But let's stick to this one. And from here, it will say this would be the output of the structure of the literature review. If you want to change anything, feel free to do so. Include challenges of the results. Okay. Yes. And now it will say that the search returned a total of 12,000 plus articles. But for this literature review, the default number is 25. You can choose up to 50. Okay, so let's go with 50 articles. Oh, never mind. Because of time constraints, let's do 30 articles. And it would then produce the literature review on the impact of ICT on student learning outcomes. These are the common findings across the 30 references used, the challenges, the gaps, the conclusion, potential hypothesis, and the full references. Okay. Then the next thing is you might want to say, show me the search string used for this result. And then you can see the terms, and you can use this for your record purposes. Okay. If you want to put that references into a table, generate a table with the 30 references, 30 articles, including links to WAS, and also highlighting the key findings and challenges of each article. Right. So this is the table that has been generated. So this is our agentic AI capability within the research assistant. The next phase of introducing agentic AI that we have is to explore a specific topic. So I'm just going to quickly show you an existing one that I've done before. So this is an example here. Let me just find one. Okay. So this is for this one, this is the topic that I'm interested in. Oh, sorry. This one. Okay, so I wanted to understand the impact of meat consumption on cancer risk, and then it will show you how it was generated in terms of the search. It will then give you a short summary of what this topic is about, give you the 25 references, but also gives you follow-up questions that you might want to look at. Okay, so each of this particular example here is about understanding a topic, and our agentic AI will be introduced to this quite shortly towards the end of this year. And if you're keen to explore further, and if you're keen to take up a trial and have a closer look, do reach out to your library and let them know. And or you can also contact us to say you're interested and ask us to contact your library to set up a trial. All right. So I hope this would be useful for you. Leave us your feedback. And every response from the AI assistant also comes with a thumbs up, thumbs down, so that, of course, our algorithm can learn from your contributions. Right. So I think that's all I have for today's session. I know we went past about a minute or so. Once again, there is always a resource center at the bottom right of the screen in Web of Science. Feel free to go there and find some help articles or training support. You can always suggest a feature to us as well. But once again, thank you for taking time to join our session today. And for those of you who have technical issues, I do sincerely apologize, but the recording will be shared as soon as possible so that you can review the full training session. All right. So thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing all of you again for my next session. And hope you have a successful research journey and a good rest of the day. Thank you. Bye.